This week in sports, the league championship edition starts me off in the NFL, where the two best teams in each conference squared off for the right to go to Super Bowl 57. And man, it was some hurt feelings this morning. Now, we kick things off over in the NFC with the San Francisco 49ers off the heels of a 12-game winning streak and fresh off a dog in Dallas's ass. You ain't the boys. Took on the 15-1 Eagles, who last week destroyed the Little Giants, leaving Big Blue, blue and black. Damn. Now, the Eagles got off to a good start and set the tone early behind the strength of their offensive line. They took a 7-0 lead. And on the ensuing drive, QB Brock Purdy was hit by man on fire Hassan Reddick, who not only caused the fumble, he knocked Purdy out the game. And that was pretty much the end of the road for San Francisco. The 49ers then had to turn to their fourth-string QB, journeyman Josh Johnson. Now, I know what you're thinking. Josh who? Yeah, me too. And I honestly cannot blame you, because like a deadbeat dad, he doesn't stick around in one place for too long. He almost has played on as many teams as the number of kids Future and Nick Cannon got combined. Well, he came in and managed to lead them to a 7-7 tie on a Christian McCaffrey run, but that offense was done. And in the beginning of the second half, so was he. The Eagles knocked Johnson out of the game too.
Hey, young man, you got knocked the fuck out.
After that, Philly poured it on and scored 3 more touchdowns, moonwalking their way to the NFC Championship. But things got heated at the end when the teams got into a skirmish. And man, we saw 49er left tackle Trent Williams toss Kayvon Wallace like a football. He tossed him faster than a salad at Olive Garden. No. He tossed him faster than Uncle Phil tossing Jazz hands out the house. He tossed him faster than Romo would have gotten tossed had he finished his sentence.
The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got 3. You talked about it. This is the best tackling team. They don't miss tackles.
In the end, the Eagles won 31-7. The Niners went from bang bang to pew pew real quick. Over in the AFC, in a game that needed no hype, we had a lot of shit talking going on, but none colder than what the mayor of Cincinnati had to say.
Whereas Joseph Lee Burrow, who's 3-0 against Mahomes, has been asked by officials to take a paternity test, confirming whether or not he's his father.
We had the Bengals, who came in this game hot as hell on a 10-game win streak and fresh off of Buffalo's ass, going into Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who sent Sunshine back to Jacksonville with his first ever L on last Saturday. Now, this game was full of excitement from the start and a lot of mistakes. The Chiefs jumped out early behind strong play of that defense, namely Chris Jones. They were on Burrow's ass, who at one point was sacked on 3 straight dropbacks. The Chiefs had some missed opportunities in the first half, but managed to go into halftime winning 13-6. But not to be outdone, the Bengals, who are a second half team, came back on their ass. And even with 2 picks, Joe Burrow showed us why he is the second best QB in the league. But Mahomes, on one bad leg, showed us why he is top dog, and it ain't even close. He made some big plays, but none bigger than that scramble at the end that led to that huge 15-yard roughing the passer penalty, which led to KC winning it by a field goal with 8 seconds left. On that kick, they sent themselves to Arizona to face the Eagles. Now, this game was full of intrigue and, like I said, mistakes, as well as a confusing replay on a 3rd down that never was. All in all, the two teams put on a show and gave us big plays and big hits, as well as some big shit talking in the end by tight end Travis Kelce.
Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
But on Sunday, they literally got beat by a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Over in the NBA this week, it had its first ever Rivals Week, where from Tuesday through Saturday, 11 nationally televised games feature some of the league's most classic duels and some emerging rivalries between teams and players. We had the Grizzly Warriors. We had my Knicks whooping the Celtics. Don't at me. We had the Knicks and Nets. We had Embiid and Jokic, and many, many more. But none, and I mean none, made more noise than the Lakers versus the Celtics. Now, this was a good-ass game that went into overtime, but all the talk isn't about the overtime, but it's about how they got there. With the game tied at 105, the Lakers inbounded with 4.1 seconds left. Now, Bron doing his best Drew Hill impersonation by taking 5 steps while driving to the cup, only to be fouled by Jason Tatum. But that blatant and obvious foul was not called, causing Bron to become angry as fuck and throw one of the most muscular tantrums I have ever seen in my life. And Pat Beverly pulled one of the greatest ever moves by showing the ref who missed a call on camera where he missed that call. That shit was classic. And he got a tech for it. But in the end, none of it mattered as the Lakers took that L, falling to the Celtics 121 to 125. Staying with the Lakers, they were the subject of one of the funniest Twitter drags I have read in a long time, and it all stemmed from a trade for Ryu Hachimura and Shaq having this to say.
If you ain't a top 10 player, I don't know who you are. That's no disrespect. I don't. How am I supposed to know who the kid was?
As a result, KD tweeted out a question. Damn, Shaq don't know ball? Man, why the fuck did he do that? Shaq responded with, I don't know ball, but I do know to brush my hair or decide to cut it when I was going bald. Love always, the bus driver.
God damn! God damn! God damn!
What?
Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
And man, like this episode, I was done. This week's episode was sponsored by the Watch Them Thrones podcast. Yeah, I know it's a shameless plug, but fuck it, I don't care. Catch us on YouTube, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and wherever you listen to all your podcasts. Thanks for your support, and I will see you guys next week.